Hello, everyone, and welcome to Game Time Astrology Podcast, the first ever sports astrology podcast. You heard it here first. It's your girl, Q Lorraine, and we are going to talk about Mac McClung. Hope everyone is having a great day and happy holidays to everyone. So, I've been wanting to do some content on Mac McClung for a very long time. And if you don't know who that is, he is pretty much a G League All-Star. He's won the NBA All-Star Dunk Contest for the past 3 years, I believe. And most recently, he was demoted back to the G League after being with the Indiana Pacers for just a couple games. And then he was cut or waived, if you will, and had to go back to the G League. So I wanted to do an astrological deep dive on Mac McClung because of those instances, those revelations in his path, and just kind of see like what is holding this guy back. What exactly is going on with Mac McClung? Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and check out my website to book a reading. It's qlorraine.co/astrology. The link will be down in the description box below. So let's go ahead and get into it. So, of course, my eyes went to what is Mac McClung's North Node and South Node, and also what is his life path number. So Mac McClung, as you can see here, his chart, he has a North Node in Leo and a South Node in Aquarius. And then I added up his birth date, January 6, 1999, and it came out to the number 8. So when a person has a number 8 life path number, this particular number is ruled by the planet of Saturn, okay? This is the astrological correspondence. It's ruled by the planet of Saturn and Leo. Because the tarot card associated with the number 8 is the Strength card, which is a major arcana that represents Leo. So Saturn is assigned to the number 8, and Leo has rulership over the number 8. So with this particular number, this is what gives Mac McClung his determination, his discipline to rise to the top in his career field, which is being an athlete. And it also really coincides, this number 8 life path coincides with his North Node in the sign of Leo, and makes him very responsible, makes him work hard. As you know, Saturn is the wisdom maker, the hard worker, slow and steady progress. And I believe that his path to really getting on an NBA team is definitely relevant to his life path number being the number 8, ruled by the planet of Saturn, which is slow and steady wins the race. So number 8 individuals definitely have the capacity to reach the top level position in their career because they possess strong reserves of strength and endurance, and they can really withstand pressure, heavy pressure. And a lot of outstanding athletes actually have the number 8 in their personal expression. So he definitely has what it takes. There's a lot of responsibility, hard work that needs to be implemented here in order to get the recognition and the rewards that he so desires. Now, it is also interesting that Mac McClung also has a North Node in the sign of Leo, which again coincides with the tarot card that is associated with his life path number 8. And the first thing that I realized was this North Node, South Node, and then I'll touch on some other things. The North Node and the South Node. North Node is, what we're moving towards and the uncomfortable part of life, right? So it is destined for him to be, someone that's looked to as a leader, right? That's a Leo North Node, someone who, won't have the backing, honestly, from support groups to really step into his power. He has to find the inner strength within to kind of go it alone, because with that South Node in Aquarius, these people do not have the backing or the network really that will support them on their journey. It's really about kind of being the lone wolf and kind of finding the strength within to really forge your own path. So we actually see this playing out for Mac McClung in his MBA career journey. And then also to the degrees in which his North Node and South Node lie also speaks to just a very hard road for him to get to where he needs to be, which is on the NBA team, and to actually stay there, because his North and South Node, the personality of those points are governed by Saturn. So it's like not an easy road. You got to work really hard. There's a lot of blockages. There's a lot of setbacks. There's a lot of delays. And then on top of that, the North Node in Leo wants the person to rise to the occasion, and you can't really rely on support structures or network or friends because you've had that in previous lifetimes with the South Node in Aquarius, and now it's time to really find your strength and move forward in the direction that you need to move forward in without the help from others. Okay. Now, moving on to Mercury and Sag. She does have Mercury and Sag, as you can see. I use 12 noon because I don't know the birth time, right? But he does have Mercury and Sag, and Mercury in Sagittarius is in its detriment, okay? So with Mercury and Sag in its detriment, this is going to speak to also some barriers in terms of concentration that he might struggle with as well. And it could also play out in his game, in the way that he plays basketball. So while his mind is sharp and alert, there could be some concentration issues when it comes to a goal or an objective, which could also play out in his play style and also decision making on the court, because Mercury deals with our mind. Okay. So the mind with Mercury and Sagittarius can go here and there, and it can be impatient. There could be some inability to focus on an ideal, or in this case for athletics, it could be hard to focus on a specific way to, drive to the basket, or even just a specific way to even like get into the NBA or get with the right people, the right agents, stuff like that. There's just a blockage there when it comes to concentrating on that and having that sharp and alert mindset to really concentrate on an objective or a goal. So I really feel like this is hindering him as well when it comes to communicating maybe his goals and objectives to people that could, maybe agents and stuff that can actually help him, or like what he wants to do with his basketball career. I do think that that's standing in his way. The next sign that I realized was in his detriment was Mars and Libra. He has Mars and Libra, and Mars and Libra is in his detriment. So Mars and Libra people can be very easygoing, and they intend to dominate, they intend to lead and things of this nature, but sometimes they can appear too smooth and diplomatic, right? And they do act with a great deal of finesse. But Mars and Libra makes a lot of plans, but they really can't seem to get them off the drawing board, because Libra is the sign of the other, and Mars rules Aries. So this is the opposite sign of Aries. And so when someone needs to get their plans in order, they, with Mars and Libra, they might need someone to help them. And I think that this also could be a disadvantage for Mac McClung, where he may not be taking the initiative really to get things going. I think that the way that Mac McClung is going about his NBA career is that simply because he is a Capricorn sun, to just work at it, right? But it seems like he's drawing from his chart in an afflicted manner, because Mars and Libra, he's just being a little bit easygoing about it. I don't think he's lazy at all. I do think that with the Capricorn sun, it does make him work hard and he wants to earn a position. But I don't think that the planning phase and asserting himself through communications with others that could likely help him get to the top. I don't think that those skills are reticent and available to him, or he's not consciously aware of how to really capitalize on those things because of the detriment of Mars and Libra, and then also the detriment of Mercury and Sagittarius. So while he may feel like he's going about it the right way by working hard, getting in the gym, and just, nose to the grindstone, which is, his number 8 life path, there are some setbacks here in the chart. And, you know, he's probably just not consciously aware of it, right? So the other thing that I see as well, the next placement I see is Saturn in Aries. So Saturn in Aries is in its fall position. So Saturn is, as we know, it's restrictive, and Aries is Martian. And so Saturn in Aries is going to be someone who is rather frustrated, right? Now, the problem with Aries in general is that they want to start things, but they never finish them, okay? So Saturn will actually hold a person down with Saturn in Aries and make them finish what they started. But as they mature, Saturn will stabilize them. And this will be slow, productive movement. But, Aries doesn't really like that. Aries is the fool. They want to jump out there and they want to get things started, right? And I do believe that this is a placement that also holds McClung back because, yes, Saturn rules a cardinal sign, but Aries is also cardinal. So it's kind of, a square on top of a square, if you will. So I do believe that he'll be more successful as he gets older. But unfortunately, these are things that are like kind of stopping him in a way. These placements are stopping him. And then I also saw Chiron in Scorpio, which could be a wound around shared resources, just feeling like not earning enough, not, making enough money from, his job in the NBA. These kinds of things can like come about as well. And, it's just really unfortunate. And, he does have Jupiter in Pisces, which is rulership, but I see 22 degrees. It's just a lot of held back type of energy in his chart. He has 3 planets in the sign of their detriment / fall. And then he has the nodes of fate at 22 degrees. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 things that is pretty much stacked up against him that are creating these blockages. And everyone's looking like, he's great. He's, won the dunk contest. But I don't think that he will not reach his goal in the NBA to get on the NBA team. But it's just taking longer for him to do so. I mean, this is unfortunately, the cards that he was dealt. And it's just going to be slow and steady wins the race, slow progress to get to where he needs to be with these particular placements. So that's it, guys. Very short video. Didn't want to make it too long. Just want to get to the point here. Hope you guys